Ladies and gentlemen, I am a professor. Being a professor means having to pass yourself off as someone who has a lot of knowledge about subjects that other people don't know about, and then being able to impart that knowledge to those same people in a way that does not induce slumber, which is a fancy word for sleep. I know the feeling, having been a student in hundreds of classes. On more than one occasion I've dozed off in a class. One time while in a lecture-induced stupor, I even fell off my chair. I wasn't hurt but was terribly embarrassed. But this is not a classroom, and you are not students. You are here to watch a play, and an interesting play it is. But to better appreciate it requires a few brief introductory remarks. On June 22nd, 1941, Nazi Germany, along with several other countries allied with Germany, invaded the Soviet Union in a massive military operation known as Operation Barbarossa. The goal of Operation Barbarossa was no less the complete destruction of the Soviet Union, the enslavement of the Russian people, and the extermination of the Jews. It was the largest single military operation in history and was fought with no restraints. The Soviet Union fought for its survival. Millions of Soviet citizens were killed and injured, and large areas of the Soviet Union were destroyed. But the Soviet Union, with the support of the United States and Great Britain, who provided the Soviets sorely needed weapons and other supplies, persevered and fought back. And by January 1943, with the defeat of the German 6th Army at Stalingrad, gained the strategic initiative, and from that point on, steadily pushed the German forces out of the Soviet Union. On June 22nd, 1944, 3 years after launching Operation Barbarossa, and 16 days after Allied forces landed at Normandy Beach in an operation known as D-Day, the Soviet Red Army launched a massive strategic offensive codenamed Operation Bagration. The goal of Operation Bagration was the destruction of the entire German army group located in Belarusia, which today is known as Belarus. The operation was a success, and the Red Army took about 160,000 German soldiers as prisoners. The Soviet authorities paraded about 60,000 of these German prisoners through Moscow. This parade was witnessed by huge crowds of Muscovites who gathered along the entire parade route to watch the prisoners, the remnants of a once powerful army now completely vanquished, march to the fate awaiting them. Although this parade was an actual event, please keep in mind that this play is a work of fiction.
Scene 1. Time, July 16, 1944. Place, the Central Moscow Hippodrome, Moscow, Soviet Union. 60,000 German prisoners of war, all recently captured by the Red Army, have been placed in the Central Moscow Hippodrome, a racetrack which has been converted into a temporary transit camp for prisoner of wars. On stage, 3 of the prisoners. They are Private Hans Jürgen Haydn, Corporal Frederick Bauer, and Sergeant Wilhelm Scheinerman.
Where are we?
Moscow, you fool.
I know that, but what is this place?
It looks like a racetrack.
A racetrack? In Moscow? I didn't know the Russians were into horse racing. I love horses.
Who cares? To me, this place is a dump.
It looks nice to me.
Kid, you are such a dunce, a real fool. Nothing here is worth admiring. Remember, these people are the enemy, and they are barbarians.
Who seem to like horse racing? That the Führer never told us.
So what? Mongol horses like horses too. And so do the wild Indians in America.
I know that, Fritz. I realize that we're in a bind.
You sure don't sound like you do. Now we're at the mercy of these Bolshevik scum.
Let's not forget that we are the uninvited guests.
No way. We invaded to help rid this place of the Bolshevik scourge.
You know, Bauer, I've been in on the Eastern Front since 1941 and seen it all. At first I really believed in what the Führer said about the Bolsheviks and the Jews, and I wanted to kill them all. Now 3 years and countless battles later, I must ask myself, what did we accomplish?
Your defeatism nauseates me. We can't give up.
You misunderstand me. I don't want Germany to lose. I want Germany to win. No one hates the commies more than me. But here we are now, abandoned by the Führer, and now stuck in a racetrack in the middle of Moscow. In a strange way, I find our situation to be absurd.
Well, I don't. No one said it would be easy.
The Führer promised that it would be over in 6 weeks, that the Russians were a bunch of pushovers. That was 3 years ago.
3 years ago, I was in the Hitler Youth Corps practicing how to march.
They were training you to be a soldier, you just didn't know it. In America, they have a similar group, they call it the Boy Scouts. They go around wearing uniforms and saluting and pledging allegiance, and all that other stuff that goes along with being in the military.
3 years ago, I was working in a factory as a sheet metal worker. Because of that, I was exempted from military service.
The fatherland could not spare your services. You had a very important job.
I did. I worked in a ball bearing factory located outside Hamburg. I fabricated casings for the ball bearings that were then installed in the tanks.
Hamburg is a wonderful city. I had a lot of friends there, of course. I don't even want to think what it looks like right now.
What the Brits and the Americans did to Hamburg is a crime. And they call us murderers. They carpet bombed the entire city. Now the place is in shambles.
Didn't the Führer promise to wipe out London?
Yes, but that's because the Brits bombed Berlin. They started it.
Oh, I liked Hamburg too. I went there with my school to a big art museum. They had a lot of really nice paintings.
You know, I'm sure the place is now a pile of rubble thanks to the Americans and the Brits.
Look, my sister and nieces got bombed out in Cologne. I don't like it, but that's war. But we did our share of bombing too, right?
The Führer said they started it.
To hell with what the Führer said. I believed everything he said too. I believed that he would restore Germany to her rightful place of greatness. I was glad when they went after the Jews. I believed that the Jews had stabbed us in the back. This is what Hitler said, and I believed him. I had faith in him. I was unemployed. My life was in shambles. I felt hopelessness. And Hitler came along, gave me a job, restored my hope and my future, and made me feel proud to be German. But now, I have second thoughts.
You're saying that only because we're captives.
Maybe I am. All I know is that I haven't seen my wife and kids since 1942 and may never see them ever again.
Don't talk like that, Sarge. It scares me.
See what all your talk does? It scares people.
Fritz, sometimes I wonder if you have a brain inside that hair of yours.
It's funny.
You know, Sarge, there's no need to get insulting.
I didn't mean to insult you. I meant exactly what I said. Do you have a brain inside that skull of yours?
Hey, Fritz, were you ever in the Hitler Youth?
No, I was in the Nazi German Students' League. That was for boys attending college.
I was a coal miner before I joined the army.
We could still win this war.
You really think so?
I wouldn't have said it if I didn't believe it.
It is so nice knowing that I'm serving with someone who is so honest and so dumb.
Stop being so condescending, Sarge. We're all in this together.
Yeah, thanks to the Führer.
Don't you think the Führer cares?
I used to think he did.
Used to? Like he doesn't care now?
Gentlemen, our own general sent us into battle with no air support and almost no artillery, and with little food. So I ask you, do you think they care?
I was talking about the Führer.
Führer, generals, all the same. They left us out to dry like laundry in the wind.
I didn't think the Eastern Front would be as bad as this.
Stalingrad didn't clue you in.
We lost the battle. Somewhat.
That shows how little you really know. I was one of the last troops to get out of Stalingrad before the 6th Army got trapped. What a mess. The weather was freezing. It was below zero every day and we were issued no winter clothing. I'm lucky I didn't die from frostbite. The Air Force tried to airlift supplies to us, but most of the time they missed the target. That did nothing to improve morale.
We'll regroup and show these Ruskies who's boss. No way can they defeat us.
I said that too until Stalingrad.
Come on, Sarge. Can that dejection.
Are you blind? Do you not see where we are? Do you not wonder how we got to this place?
No, I don't. I was drafted into the army, sent with my unit to the Eastern Front. I let others do the wondering.
Like I said before, I have to wonder if you have a brain inside your noggin.
What do you think the Ruskies are going to do with us?
How do I know?
Why did you ask the guard?
I would, but I don't think he speaks German.
And you don't speak Russian, so it would be a perfect match.
Very funny, Sarge. You have a real sense of humor.
You think so?
I was being sarcastic.
I don't like the way they've got us cooped up like this. It makes me feel a little nervous.
Makes me feel a lot nervous, dumping us in a racetrack of all places. It's as if the Russians are trying to mock us.
For us, the war is over. There's nothing more to be nervous about.
I hope the Russians don't lynch us.
You've been watching too many American movies. The Americans lynch, the Russians shoot. Big difference.
That doesn't make me feel any better.
Stop your worrying. If they were going to murder us, they would have done it already.
I wonder what my mother must be thinking. She must be worried sick about me.
Listen, there's no need getting worked up over that. We got to keep up our appearances. Show these Bolsheviks that we're still soldiers.
I really wonder how much longer this war can go on.
I do too.
I don't even want to think about it. And will thank you guys if you just shut up. We're in a pickle and we are in the mercy of the Reds. We must save our strength for what lies ahead.
Look, Sarge, we invaded their country.
I thought we went in to liberate.
Hell no, boy! Hitler wanted to conquer and exterminate these people. Shh!
Not so loud.
They don't know German, so I can say whatever I want.
Just keep it down. Don't attract attention.
Attract attention? In this part, I can scream Heil Hitler and nobody would care.
Come on, don't be stupid. Listen to the Sarge.
I did listen to the Sarge. That's why I'm here. I wanted to continue fighting, but not the Sarge. Up went that white flag, and the next thing I know, I'm being dragged out of the dugout by 2 Russian guys who then kicked me in the ass when I didn't move fast enough.
At least they didn't shoot you. Listen, Corporal, we were surrounded, outnumbered, outgunned, and outmaneuvered. It was either surrender or die for nothing. If it weren't for me, we'd all be dead. So much for gratitude.
I didn't like giving up either, but Sarge, you were right.
I'd rather die on the battlefield.
What battlefield? We were hiding in a stinking cellar in some disgusting putrid dump. It smelled like shit. We were defending shit.
You think Hitler made a mistake invading Russia?
I'm no general, but it didn't take much brains to understand that it would take more than a few weeks to defeat Russia.
It's so easy to second guess.
I'm not second guessing anyone. I thought we could win too. We went in with a huge army, but it wasn't enough.
So what? Australia's a big country too. What's your point?
Don't bite off more than you can chew.
Sour
I'm
grapes.
just talking facts.
You're talking defeatism. And it is you who better watch what you say. SS guys are in here with us
I
too.
don't want to mess with those guys.
I don't either. The war's still going on.
Okay, don't worry about the SS. Don't worry about anything. Just keep calm and let's see what happens.
I'm having a hard time keeping calm.
Boy, what I would give for a shot of schnapps.
I'd settle for a hot bowl of real soup. Not that slop they feed us over here. And a fresh loaf of bread.
Thanks for reminding me that we haven't eaten for almost 2 days.
That's right, we haven't eaten, so stop blabbering. It wastes energy and makes you feel hungrier.
I'm a mess. You think we're going to come out of this alive?
Stop whining like a baby.
You ask very good questions, which unfortunately I cannot answer. That's really up to our Russian host.
Now I'm feeling hungry.
You have the Sarge to thank for that.
Thanks, Sarge.
My pleasure, huh?
End of scene 1. Scene 2. Time, the same as scene 1. Place, a room. At the entrance is a sign that reads, Office of the Commissar for Enemy Prisoners of War. On stage are 3 men. Colonel Boris Nikolavec, Romachenko, Commandant, and 2 staff officers, Lieutenant Colonel Ivan Stepanovich Luzhnitsky and Major Pavel Pavlovich Stepanikov. All 3 are officers in the Red Army.
All the fascists are being assembled.
How many are there?
About 60,000.
About 60,000? I want a precise number. Major, get me a precise number.
Stragglers keep coming in.
No excuse. I want a precise number. No guesswork here. The boss may show up and ask. I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing. This is going to be a big event. Nothing like this has ever been done before.
Sir,
Not on this scale.
Sir, may I ask what it is that we are preparing to do?
Something big. Something that will drive home to the Germans once and for all that the war is lost and to stop fighting.
The people are screaming for blood.
They are? I haven't heard anyone scream. Not even the prisoners. They know that they're being and done for.
Well, something has to be done to teach them a lesson. They had no right to invade our country.
Are we going to have this argument again?
Sir, you may outrank me, but still, I must speak my mind. These fascist pigs destroyed my hometown. They burnt it to the ground and forced my mother and 2 sisters to flee into the woods. I have no idea if they're alive or dead.
We all have a cause to go out and shoot all of these fascists after how they've brutalized our people and vandalized our country, but to demand their blood is unbecoming a Marxist. We are better than that.
These Nazi pigs took my brother prisoner and killed him. Am I supposed to forget that?
Gentlemen, this debate is getting tedious. The fascists will get what they deserve. People's justice will prevail.
I hope so. Luckily, my younger sister was able to escape. My parents got her out in time. Now she's staying with me.
Yes, I met her. She's a very nice girl. How old is she again?
17. She writes poetry.
In the middle of the war, we're producing poets. What a country.
But sometimes her writings get on my nerves. All touchy-feely stuff. Really corny. I just want to bash the crafts to smithereens. That's the kind of poetry I want to write about. Bash, smash, crash, show them who's boss, and get them to beg for mercy.
The idea is to get them to stop fighting, not to destroy them.
That is true, comrade. But they must be punished for their crimes. On that point, there can be no debate.
You see, the colonel agrees with me.
Not so fast. We must act lawfully, guided by the teachings of our great leader Stalin, who made our country great. To do otherwise would be to lower ourselves to the level of the enemy.
Sir, we can never stoop so low as
Oh
that.
yes, we could, especially if we lose our discipline.
Yes, we must take care to stay disciplined.
Discipline? With that scum? After all the crimes they've committed?
Righteous indignation is for fools. Don't forget that.
But I can't help it.
I'm telling you to stop it. You have a job to do, so do it. Get me an exact count. Higher command is waiting for my report.
I find it kind of weird that we're putting them in a race in the racetrack.
We have to put them somewhere, right?
It's just that I find it ironic that a place of entertainment is now being used to inter prisoners. My grandfather was a stable boy. He told me about the time the Tsar visited the track. He bet some money on a horse and lost.
No surprise there, was a born loser.
According to my grandfather, he was rather nice.
What are you saying? Bring back the Tsar?
You said that, not me.
Stop being so smart. I don't want to hear about the Tsar, or about the good old days, or about anything that has to do with the reactionaries who exploited the people and cared only about themselves. My grandparents were serfs. They had it rough. They worked like slaves to pay off their debts. Finally, Stalin put a stop to it. Now the land belongs to the people. No more landlords. And I was able to go to school. I was the first in my family to get an education. I have Stalin to thank for that.
Yes, Stalin is a great leader. Because of him, we have a lot to be thankful for.
I didn't mean to suggest otherwise.
Then don't bring up the Tsar again, please. The mere mention of it makes me want to go wild.
You go wild on your own time, okay? Why couldn't you two comrades get along?
It's just talk, sir.
Which vexes me, and you know it. And to think I thought about introducing you to one of my sisters. What was I thinking?
Hey, see, sir? We are friends.
Then stop all this idiotic bickering and act like friends. Remember, we are Marxists and so should act as such.
Sir, what exactly are we to do with all these prisoners?
You will find out soon, Ivan. When I give the order, you will form up the guard in the lot outside of the stands. Then I will be making an important announcement.
Yes, sir.
End of scene 2.
Scene 3. Time. Same as the preceding two scenes. Place. A living room in an apartment in Moscow. 3 teenage girls are on stage. They are Nadezhda, Nadia Belakovsky, Katrina, Katya Zilberberg, Efremia Effie Stepanikova. Effie is Pavel's younger sister.
I was walking on Gorky Street when some soldier whistled at me and gave me a wink.
Somebody has to teach these boys better manners. It will take a lot more than a handsome face to get me to fall in love. I'll tell you that.
But they mean no harm. They're just playing.
Like hell they are. They want it all, and without having to pay for it. Well, I'm not that easy.
I'm not either, but I do like the attention.
Let them save their strength for the front. I'm doing my share already.
My brother says that a lot of German prisoners are being assembled at the Hippodrome.
I hope they take them somewhere and shoot every one of them. Bastards.
I heard that some German men are rather attractive.
And I heard that a certain someone in this room has a hearing problem. I say stay with your own kind. We have enough Russian men to choose from.
Men are so complicated.
No, they're not. They all have one thing on their minds, and it is not food.
It's more like dessert. They have such dirty minds. Why, just earlier this week, I was in the grocery store near Red Square when this guy came up to me and actually pinched me on my rear. I was so embarrassed. Then he asked me to join him for coffee. I told him no.
He liked you. You should have gone with him. At least you'd have gotten a free cup of coffee.
Maybe I should have gone with him.
And maybe not. I think he was just trying to get over on you.
I hate talking about boys like this. My brother is in the army, and I can't imagine him going around pinching girls, acting like an idiot.
He's your brother, so you got to stick up for him. How old is he?
Let's also not forget that we must support our boys, help them feel appreciated.
I do appreciate them. A smile and a kiss on the cheek. It's more than enough. I don't want to give them the wrong idea.
I think some boys are nice. I remember this boy, Basil Seminovsky. He was so nice. He used to walk me home from school. That was before the war.
What happened to him?
I heard he got drafted.
And?
And that's the last I heard.
I hope this war ends soon so I can find a good man. Someone who's a factory manager. Or maybe a commissar.
You're any kind of high.
Higher the better. Someone well placed in the party.
But to get, you gotta give.
Then I'll become a factory worker like the girls shown in the posters.
Your father wouldn't let you do that.
He'd love for me to find a man, but all the good ones are away.
And all the bad ones are married and drunk.
Our men are heroes.
But they're still men. Look, I know that they are putting their lives on the line to get those crowds to leave. I'm not that dunce.
So you should speak about men with more respect. Don't forget that we all have menfolk who are fighting for us.
Why do you always have to be so serious?
That's the way I am. I am concerned about my family. I don't know if my parents and the two sisters are still alive. I'm lucky I got out when I could. We took the brunt of the attack.
That's tough. I remember when the Germans were right outside of Moscow. Wow, was I scared.
But men like my brother stopped them dead in their tracks. They have far more important things to do than to chase after girls.
Effie, you have a lot to learn about men.
I do too, like how to get a man to buy me dinner and drinks and take me to the theater.
First, you have to learn to act sophisticated, like they do in the movies.
That's it. I'll become an actress.
Why can't you two of you be more serious? We're fighting for our lives and all you can think about is yourselves? That's not fair.
Listen, my dear friend, I don't need you or anyone else to remind me about that. I have two cousins in the service. One's in the Air Force and the other in the Navy. And my father is a veteran of the Civil War who loves Mother Russia more than I can say.
So you know better. Yet you go on prattling like a little girl. That's why you keep meeting boys. A real man wants a woman, not a flighty little thing.
Oh, not that little, am I?
Yes, you're built nice. But when you open your mouth, you sound like a 10-year-old child.
Since when did we become such an expert on men?
I'm not a no expert on men, but I know enough not to treat them all like dirt.
The problem is that you're just too sensitive. And maybe you have a right to be, given all the stuff you've gone through.
If it weren't for the war, we'd be going out every night and having a great time. Instead, we have to work and work. It's not fair.
Remember what Professor Luzininsky said in history class? The working class is the vanguard of change, and women are now free. I want to be free to do whatever the hell I want. I'm going to be 18 years old. I may join the army.
Then you'll definitely meet men. Lots of men.
Have you told your parents?
Not yet, but I'm no longer a little girl.
I may go with you to serve my country.
You girls are crazy. All you want to do is meet men.
It's better than sitting around and writing all that sappy poetry.
Hey, put that down, that's private.
Not anymore. Ah, here's a juicy passage. A summer moon, a warm ocean breeze, a rolling field, a loving embrace. So that is life.
I think that's sweet.
I think it's corny bourgeois hokum. Let me read another passage. The steel mill burns brightly. Noise is transformed into music. Production becomes a symphony. Work is heroic. And yet, the little rose, merely a bud, brings tears of joy in this busy, burly world.
Wow, Effie, I didn't know that he was such a deep thinker.
And I didn't know that you were such a dunce. She writes about feelings. Feelings are bourgeois. They are decadent and silly. They contribute nothing to society. That's what we were taught in school, right? Yet you waste your time writing this rubbish when you should be devoting all your talent to writing slogans and pamphlets and stories about workers and not about flowers or warm ocean breeze?
I write what is in my heart.
Whatever you say, my dear friend. You are a daydreamer in a time where daydreaming is not in vogue. I want to have fun now. I don't want to go around always feeling down. Comrade Stalin has repeatedly said that women and men are equal. So, if it's okay for a man to fool around, then I want to fool around too. I don't want to become an old lady like my mother.
Let's go to the movies then. I heard there's a new comedy playing. I could use some laughs.
I love comedies. I can't stand the moody stuff. Remember the last movie we saw? I hated it. The factory worker who falls in love with the manager of the factory, who is a woman and wants nothing to do with him. What a dumb story.
I liked the movie. He was willing to do anything to get her to notice him. He really loved her.
That it only gave him pain. Love is like candy. It tastes sweet but makes you sick.
Love makes you sick because it overwhelms us and changes us.
Effie, where's all that junk in your head coming from?
I don't know. I think about my family and the war and everything, and it all seems so nasty. I dream about my parents every night.
When the war is over, you'll be able to find out about them.
That's what I'm afraid of, finding out.
Those dirty, rotten Nazi pigs. May they all rot in hell.
I wish I could say amen.
End of scene 3. Scene 4. Place, the Hippodrome. Time, 1 hour later. Scene. Boris is about to address a company of soldiers who are standing at ease. Also on stage are Ivan and Pavel. All the men assembled?
Yes, sir. All are present.
Good. Call the men to attention.
Major, call the men to attention.
Yes, sir. Faces the man. Attend. Up!
Gentlemen, as you know, we've been assembling thousands of German prisoners who were captured by the Red Army in battle. You may be wondering why is this happening. I will explain. The massive assembly of prisoners is part of the war effort. I have been ordered to process and guard these prisoners with our lives, orders that I now personally pass on to you. Each and every one of you have been assigned the important task of safeguarding these prisoners and seeing that none escape. The Supreme Commander of the Red Army has ordered that these prisoners be placed in special camps located in various places outside of Moscow. Transportation is waiting for them at the Kievskaya train station. We will march them from the Hippodrome to the station. They will go on foot. We do not have enough trucks available to transport them through the city. They will go via a route carefully selected to ensure the utmost security. Your job will be to ensure that none of the prisoners escape and to control the crowd. Supreme Command has informed me that much of the city will turn out for this event. This is a huge operation, one that must go off without a hitch. The whole world will be watching as we send an unmistakable message to Hitler and to the German people that further resistance is useless and to surrender. The parade will commence at 9 a.m. sharp, rain or shine. All the prisoners will be treated in accordance with international law governing the treatment of prisoners. Unlike the enemy, who are barbarians, we treat our prisoners humanely and by doing so bring credit and honor to our country and to our socialist ideals. Perform your duties to the utmost of your ability. Our country is counting on you. That is all. You may dismiss the troops.
Dismiss the troops.
Troops dismissed.
How many prisoners are there?
Exactly 58,640, sir.
Ah, very good. Tens of thousands of them, all fresh from the battlefield, all in our custody and entrusted in our care. Let's not fail in our duty. Our job is daunting. Whoever thought that we would be capturing so many of the crowds? No one believed that we could knock these Nazis for a loop and chase them down like dogs. You know, my dear friends, we didn't ask for this war. We didn't need it, and we don't want it. Now we must take great care. I'm counting on both of you to make it happen. Please don't fail me.
We won't, sir.
Sir, will this event be filmed?
The High Command has already notified representatives of the West End and the press. All are awaiting with great excitement to watch and to report on this event to their respective countries. It is too bad that Hitler will not be attending. He would have made a most interesting guest. After all, it is he who started all of this. When he decided to try to destroy us, Now the whole world will witness the might of the Soviet Union, the Red Army, and the Soviet people, led by our great and all-knowing leader, Comrade Joseph Stalin. Now, comrades, get to work. End of scene 4.
Scene 5. Time, night. Place, Pavel's apartment. Ivan and Pavel are out of uniform. They are standing over a table looking at a map of Moscow.
This will be a big operation.
No big deal, just a bunch of crowds being moved, that's all.
That's not all. The whole world will be watching. I don't like it. Too much fanfare.
Who cares who's watching? We must teach these Germans a lesson. They wanted Moscow, now they're here. With us serving as their tour guides. They should be paying us for our services.
Stop being so emotional. We have a job to do, so let's do it with a clear head.
I don't need to remind you that we are at war and that we didn't start it. These fascists are just a bunch of pigs. They deserve no consideration at all. In fact, they are lucky that we let them live.
I've heard all of this before. We must take care not to take drastic measures.
Oh, really? As if the crowds haven't already done that?
We can talk about this later. Right now, let's decide where we will post guards.
Obviously along the entire route, especially at the Krimsky Bridge and Culture Park.
That's good. Now, who will be guarding the prisoners?
I've already assigned a team of soldiers who will be escorting the fascists on horseback. They will be armed and ready for action at the slightest hint of trouble.
Let's hope there isn't.
For their sake, not ours.
Effie enters.
Good evening, comrades.
Effie, I ask you not to interrupt us. We are in the middle of important state business, and we cannot be interrupted.
Oh, no. Young lady, it's okay. We were just talking.
I know what you're talking about. It's tomorrow's parade. I heard the news at school.
Could you please introduce me to this young lady?
This is my sister, Effie. She's staying with me. She managed to escape from the occupied area.
I think I remember having met you briefly about 4 years ago when I was stationed outside of Kiev.
That's where I'm from. My father worked as a factory technician at the army base.
Wow, you have certainly grown up.
Thank you. You are nice too.
Why don't you go back to your room? You have work to do.
That's my brother for you. Always needs to be working. Such an important person.
I'm just doing my job.
If it weren't for him, I don't know how I would have survived.
You're my sister. I could not refuse you. What would our parents have said?
Yes, I know about your family. God has told me.
Maybe I should have never left.
Not true at all. You had to leave. Somebody had to get out.
Yes, I know that.
And my family's safe in the Urals.
I'm glad to hear that. That must make things a lot easier for you knowing that they're alive.
It was just the luck of geography that spared them.
What are you doing?
You will find out tomorrow.
No, it's okay, comrade. You should know. They're planning security measures for tomorrow's event.
Security measures? Aren't they already on the guard?
Yes, they are. But when they're moved, it will require the guards be posted along the route to protect prisoners from the public.
Oh, I see. May I share my thoughts about this?
Please do.
To me, the purpose of this parade is to put these prisoners on display to humiliate them.
Comrade, my sister doesn't know what she's talking about.
No, I think she does. You may continue.
Thank you. To me, it would be better just to get them out of here as quickly as possible and be done with it.
I must disagree with my sister, who shouldn't even be in this room with us. She forgets that it is the crowds who have terrorized our family and millions of others. She forgets that these prisoners are the enemy who have sworn to obey Hitler, who has vowed to exterminate us. She forgets that the parade is necessary to send a message to both our enemies and friends, not to trifle with the Soviet Union.
No, you are wrong. I do realize all the things you said.
Yet you want to coddle the very people who have done us so much harm. Outrageous.
Your brother has a point. The Germans invaded us and they show no signs of wanting to leave without a fight.
I know exactly what happened. I was there. I watched the Germans enter our town after our army had fled, leaving us totally unprotected.
You had no idea what you were seeing. You were just a little girl.
No, I was old enough to understand exactly what was happening. I remember hearing in school how the Germans would never harm us and not to worry. Comrade Stalin had everything under control. Then one day, the Germans arrived and took over everything. We were in our town. At night, 2 German soldiers barged into our house. They ordered us out. It was terrible. I had no idea what they wanted. They beat my father, our father, and dragged him out of the house by his feet. They threatened to do the same to my 2 sisters and to me. I thought they were going to kill us. All the while, I was wondering where are our troops? Why they were not protecting us? It was rough.
Dear young lady, you have been through a lot.
Yes, you have. And don't I know it. That's why I cannot understand why you're so concerned about these crowds. If anybody should be calling for their blood, it should be you.
These Nazis have done horrible things, but they were practically invited in. We were left to defend ourselves.
Comrade, please understand that my sister is still a minor, and her comments should not be taken seriously.
No, Pavel, I am right. We did nothing to stop them. They charged in, took over our army gun, trashed everything, drove our family into hiding while we feared for our lives. That was 3 years ago. I am lucky that I'm still alive. How will putting these prisoners on display bring back our parents and my sisters? How will this stop the war? Maybe we need to exercise a little compassion.
Compassion for a bunch of Nazi murderers? You gotta be kidding. Where in the name of Marx are you getting these ideas from? Who has been feeding you all this sentimentalist crap?
Older brother, I love you. You took me in just like a good brother should. I don't want to make trouble for you. I don't want you to be angry at me. But I can't help the way I feel. Jesus said, do to others as you'd like them to do to you.
I haven't heard that in a long